Hi everyone, my group and I analyzed a systematic review over the effective treatments for reducing stuttering in school-age children. Our study is a systematic review designed to analyze current literature on stuttering interventions for school-age children, and our design involves studies that are included if they focus on developmental stuttering, including children ages 6 to 12. It measures the stuttering outcomes pre- and post-intervention. If the review describes the stuttering reduction effects for each intervention without limiting the study design type. And lastly, the calculations such as mean stuttering reduction percentage offer insight into intervention effectiveness. Our research question is, which interventions reported in previous literature are most effective in reducing stuttering for school-age children? For our participants, the article focuses on findings that are effective interventions specifically for reducing stuttering, which was challenging as no randomized controlled trials have been published that directly target reduction in school-age children. For the materials for the systematic review involved a comprehensive literature search across 3 years, 13 databases, and 3 conference proceedings to capture studies on stuttering interventions specifically for school-age children. For our methods to be considered for the systematic review, the following criteria was needed to be met. The studies had to be written in English. They needed to focus on child onset fluency disorder, trialed a non-pharmaceutical intervention designed to reduce stuttering. Participants were school-age children that were diagnosed with a stuttering disorder, and the primary outcome of the research was a measure of stuttering before and after a treatment. The study used multiple different databases as well as screens of conferences proceeding from the international stuttering specific conferences. Search string words such as the words stutter, disfluent, non-fluent, child, and school age were searched in the different databases to find relevant research. Initially, 9,337 articles were found, but 2 authors compared data on different outcomes that did not meet the consensus, which were then discussed and recalculated, leaving 67 relevant articles. Of the 67 relevant articles, they were organized by design and treatment type. The 5 main designs were identified, such as single participant case studies, group pre- to post-treatment studies, and studies with non-randomized control trials. The review found that 91% of the studies showed immediate post-treatment stuttering reduction with operant methods and combined operant speech restructuring interventions, showing the strongest outcomes, some achieving nearly 90% reduction and lasting effects. Other approaches like CBT integrated, speech restructuring, and machine-driven methods were also reported to have high reductions, though the long-term outcomes were varied, and only 19.4% of those studies provided data beyond 12 months. For our conclusion, this review indicated that 5 treatment methods may reduce stuttering in children ages 6 to 12. However, their impact size varied. Although 5 treatments are mentioned, non-randomized group procedures and no randomized controlled research show insufficient evidence for stuttering reduction. Operant approaches have been demonstrated to be effective for early stuttering therapy and had the biggest post-treatment stuttering reduction across most trials. 5 speech restructuring therapies reduced stuttering by 85% or more, with 2 demonstrating long-term effects. Speech restructuring and operant approaches reduced stuttering by over 85% with long-term effects. Speech reorganization was achieved with machine-driven treatments in school children. In the 2 studies, short-term stuttering reductions exceeded by 90% and followed up with an 78.5%. With the CBT component with speech reconstructing version, the post-treatment stuttering reductions ranged from 66.4 to 96.3%, and the follow-up was 76.6 to 98.1%, and has been suggested that combining these treatments may be better. For this study, we thought a level 3 was the most appropriate to give. We concluded that this study was suggestive given the limited quality of evidence, the small sample sizes, and the lack of randomized control trials. The review identifies promising treatment approaches for stuttering in the future, but the evidence is not strong enough to leave a firm conclusion as of right now. Thank you.